You know that feeling. You flick your wrist, you just want the time, right?
Yeah.
And instead, boom, some random app opens up or the smart stack is just there.
Oh, absolutely. It's trying to be helpful, I guess, but sometimes...
Sometimes it's just annoying, especially when all you wanted was, the time.
Exactly. It's that classic tech thing, anticipating needs, but maybe getting it slightly wrong.
Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today for all you Apple Watch users who just want that quick, simple time check. We're asking, how do you actually make sure the watch face is what you see when you raise your wrist? How do you wrestle back that control?
It's a really key part of making the watch feel intuitive, isn't it? Getting that
Yeah.
glanceable info right.
Totally. And we found a great guide for this over on 9 to 5 Mac. It came out just last week, May 1st, 2025.
Good timing.
Yeah, and it really breaks down how to adjust things in watchOS 10.
Which is important because watchOS 10 changed quite a bit about how these things work, like with live activities.
Right. So our mission essentially is to walk you through the steps. How to customize your watch so that face is always front and center when you need it.
Let's do it. Where does the article suggest starting?
Okay, so it starts with live activities. Now, these are kind of like the ones on the iPhone, right? Those real-time widget things.
Exactly. Think sports scores updating or maybe your Uber progress. On the watch, they show up as these little updating widgets.
So you get the info without like a flood of notifications.
Precisely. But as the article points out, and as you mentioned, sometimes they can kind of hijack the screen when you just wanted the time.
Okay, so how do we manage that? Where do we go?
All right, you'll need to grab your Apple Watch, open up the Settings app directly on the watch,
Okay, settings.
then tap on General.
Yeah.
Scroll down a little bit. You're looking for Auto Launch.
General, auto launch.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
tap that. And right at the very top, you should see Live Activity Settings.
Ah, okay. That sounds promising. What's in there? Looks like 3 main toggles.
That's right. 3 key controls. First one's simple. Just turn live activities off completely if you don't want them at all.
Okay, nuclear option. What else?
The second one is probably the main one for this issue. It controls whether live activities automatically launch onto the watch face.
Ah, so you can turn that off.
Exactly. If you turn this off, the live activity might still be running in the background, accessible if you swipe up or double press the crown to get to the smart stack.
But it won't just appear when you raise your wrist.
Precisely. It won't interrupt that quick time check. You have to intentionally go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Apple's trying to find a balance there.
Okay, that sounds like the setting a lot of people might be looking for. And the third one, something about wrist down.
Yeah, the third toggle is about whether live activities stay visible on the screen even when it's dimmed, because your wrist is down. It's on by default.
So you can still sort of passively see the update.
Right. But if you want a totally clean look when your wrist is down or maybe save a tiny bit of battery, you can toggle that off too.
Interesting. Okay, so that covers general live activities, but then the article points out something specific for media apps within those same settings.
It does, yeah. There's a separate control just for media, think music, podcasts, audiobooks, that sort of thing.
Why do they get special treatment, do you think?
Well, media playback is often more of an ongoing thing, right? If you're listening to something, watchOS probably assumes you want quick access to pause, skip, volume controls.
Makes sense. So what can you do with this separate control?
You can decide to disable the live activity behavior just for media apps, even if you leave it on for others that show up in the Smart Stack.
Okay. And the default for media apps is auto launch enabled.
That's right. It's on by default.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets a little interesting. If you leave this on, the article says media apps might actually auto-open the full app itself like they used to in older watchOS versions.
Oh, really? So instead of the Smart Stack widget.
You might just get the now playing screen, for example. So it gives you a choice. The newer widget style via Smart Stack or the older direct app launch for your media.
More choice seems to be the theme here. Now, beyond those broader controls, the article mentions getting even more specific, like app by app.
Yes. Further down in those live activity settings, there's a section for really granular control over specific Apple apps.
Which apps are we talking about?
The ones listed are alarms, compass, mindfulness, music recognition, stopwatch, timers, voice memos, wallet, and workout. Quite a few key ones.
Okay, and for each of those you get options.
Yep, 3 options for each. You can. 1, disable live activities entirely for that specific app. 2, let it auto-launch the Smart Stack when there's a relevant live activity. Or 3, have it auto-launch the app itself.
Wow, okay. That's pretty detailed. So for timers, say, I could choose if raising my wrist shows the timer in the Smart Stack, opens the actual timer's app, or just does nothing and shows the watch face.
Exactly that. If you use the stopwatch constantly, maybe you want the app to open immediately. But for timers, perhaps you only want it in the Smart Stack, or not showing automatically at all. You can set that preference for each of those listed apps.
That really allows for some deep personalization. Very useful. Okay, switching gears slightly, the article also mentions another auto launch scenario when the watch goes underwater.
Ah, yes. That's relevant for the models with the Depth app, like the Apple Watch Ultra or newer series models suited for diving and swimming.
Right. And where's that setting? Is it still under auto launch?
It is, yeah. Back out to Settings, General Auto Launch again. But this setting is specifically about what happens when the watch detects it's submerged.
And the default is it opens the Depth app automatically.
Correct. As soon as it senses it's underwater, the Depth app is supposed to launch, giving you immediate depth and water temperature info.
But you can change that. What if you're just, I don't know, swimming laps and don't really care about the Depth app popping up?
You absolutely have that choice. In that submerged setting, you can choose to just keep the regular watch face displayed, even when you're underwater.
Okay, good to know. So if you're finding the Depth app launch intrusive during casual swimming, you can prevent it.
Precisely.
All right, we've covered quite a bit here. Live activities in general, the special rules for media, that really detailed app-by-app control, and even the underwater setting. Let's try and tie this all together for everyone listening. What are the key takeaways if you just want your watch face to show up reliably?
Well, the main thing is that watchOS 10 really does give you the tools. You've got those three main levers we talked about: the overall live activity settings, the specific media app behavior, and then that super granular control for individual apps like timers or workout. Plus, the submerged setting for relevant models.
Right.
By going into Settings, General Auto Launch and exploring those options, especially under live activity settings, you can pretty much tailor the experience to ensure the watch face is your default view.
So it really tackles that initial frustration we talked about, the watch doing something unexpected when you just glance at it. These settings put you firmly back in control.
Exactly. It's about making it work for you. Streamlining how you get that quick info. It makes the whole experience feel smoother, more predictable.
So wrapping up then, it seems Apple's really leaned into customization here with watchOS 10, giving users the power to decide what gets priority on their screen.
It really underscores that idea of personal technology, doesn't it? Letting you fine-tune even these small interactions so the watch feels like an extension of you rather than something you're fighting against.
Definitely. So here's a thought to leave you with. Think about those specific times your watch didn't show you the clock when you wanted it to. Was it a timer, music, a workout? Now that you know about these settings, maybe take a moment later to dive into your watch's settings app General, auto launch, and see if you can tweak things to make those moments less frequent. Make your Apple Watch work just the way you want it to.